Add it up. 2 times a day, 7 days a week for what, I don't know, 40 years?
2 times a day?
Who the fuck gets to do it 2 times a fucking day?
Me and Jess used to.
2 times a day.
Me and Jess used to do it 5 times a day.
For 40 years?
52
What about
weeks a
hangovers?
year.
What about Christmas Day? How the fuck are you gonna do it 5 times on a Christmas Day while the family are sitting around carving up the turkey?
Make up for it at night with the wife.
Wife? What wife? You haven't had a wife in over 6 months.
He Died with a Falafel in His Hand is an Australian dark comedy that came out in 2001. So, He Died with a Falafel in His Hand is a $50 patron request from Josh, or on the Discord, we all know him as lilsoto. And no, he is not a SoundCloud rapper. He may love the lean, but I have yet to hear any bars. But this is one of those films that I have never heard of. When Josh requested this film to me, this was the very first time I've ever heard of this film's existence. And with that being said, I really didn't know what to expect. All I knew is that Josh really liked it, and the reviews for it were pretty good too. So, and after watching it, I enjoyed this film quite a bit. This is a film that, honestly, it's kind of a damn shame that it's this obscure. For me, there's really no reason for this film to be this underground and for it to be this obscure and hidden, because this film has an energy to it that I can see a lot of people taking to and a lot of people finding entertaining. And the biggest compliment I can give this film is that there's really never a stale moment in this movie. This film is constantly kind of throwing different situations at you, different just outrageous situations at times. I mean, there's a scene in this film that has to do with like a cult and a sacrifice, and the way that it's done, I think, was just really well executed, because it turns something that is obviously just like really out there and it runs with it, and it makes sure to really capitalize on the silly, dark, comedic concept that is present in that moment. And overall, yeah, like, I really don't know why this film really didn't take to a bigger audience. Maybe it's just for marketing reasons, but it is a film that I definitely recommend to pretty much everybody, because it also kind of reminded me a little bit of an Edgar Wright film, in the sense that, as I mentioned, it kind of has that high energy aspect to it, but it also kind of has that quippy and quirky element to it, with not only its style, but also just with its characters and the dialogue and the situations that are presented in this film. And yes, again, this is a dark comedy, and I think the film tries to capitalize on that kind of edginess to kind of express more philosophical and existential themes, because, well, not just the main character, but a lot of these characters in this film are kind of directionless and are kind of just trying to find their place in the world and trying to find their place in society, and are dealing with the struggles of loneliness and purpose, and, you know, having the bravery to reach their goals and finding inspiration. And I think overall it kind of explores these themes fairly well. I don't think it really goes that deep with them, but I think it kind of gives you enough to where you can kind of appreciate what this film was going for. And I mentioned earlier that this is a film that reminded me a little bit of Edgar Wright, but it also reminded me a lot of a film like SLC Punk. And it's because of everything that I already mentioned. It has a dark comedy element to it. It has the romantic element to it. It has a thematic element to it. So, I wouldn't be surprised if this filmmaker was inspired by a film like SLC Punk. And one other aspect about this film that I thought was impressive that I really didn't expect was the camera work. The camera work is surprisingly delicate and creative. There are many different scenes in this film where you can tell that there is a lot of thought and intention that went behind how to frame that particular scene. And for those who have seen it, or if you are planning to see it, you know exactly what I mean when I say that. But you can tell that the way that everything is captured actually has quite a bit of intention. And as I said a billion times already, this is a dark comedy, And a lot of you are probably wondering, like, did I find this film funny? Do I think the comedy was effective? And yeah, like, for the most part, I think the comedy is really well realized, really well expressed, well delivered by a lot of these actors. A lot of the performances in this film are really great. And for all these actors who I've basically never heard of or seen in any other film, I think not only did they embody these really, like, zany and out there characters pretty well, but they were actually able to have a comedic delivery that was mostly effective throughout the film. I do think that some of the more serious and tragic elements of this film were a little bit cliched and a little bit predictable, but it's not like they were completely ineffective. It's just that when it comes to those aspects, or the more serious aspects of the film, when it comes to what happens to certain characters, I felt like it could have been just a little bit more creative. But overall, I did enjoy this film quite a bit. There was a lot about this film that I was impressed by. And again, I do think it's a shame that there's not really much people out there that even are aware of this film's existence. And I hope that a lot of you who are watching this video who've never heard of it before really gives this film a chance, because I do think it's worth a shot. So I'm going to give He Died with a Falafel in His Hand a solid 7 out of 10. Yeah, as I said, please check this film out. And if by chance you have already seen this film, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section, whether you liked or disliked it. And if you really enjoy what I had to say about the film, just give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.